Joan Murray, thank you so much. The host of Facing South Florida, Jim DeFede, joins us now. Jim, let's go ahead and break it down by county. Let's look at Dade County. In the lead up to this election, we talked a lot about 2016 and the wide margin of victory for Hillary Clinton here. We had discussed the fact that Joe Biden probably wouldn't get that wide of a margin, but we weren't expecting as small as it was in Miami-Dade, right?
No, not at all. This was an incredible victory in defeat for Donald Trump. Even though he lost Miami-Dade County, to only lose it by 7 points was a remarkable achievement. And so let's talk a little bit about what that was. I mean, I think we can now honestly say that Florida is no longer a purple state. It is a red state. When Miami-Dade cannot carry at least 20 points advantage for Democrats running statewide, there's very little path for Democrats going forward to win statewide office. And as you heard, I mean, I think Carlos Jimenez and Maria Elvira Salazar, they ran the types of campaigns they wanted to run. They made their efforts known. They worked in the community to try to get elected. But make no mistake about it, they were swept into office by this wave that Donald Trump created by building back the Cuban American community to support him. In 2016, Cuban Americans did not trust Donald Trump. They did not believe that he was someone on their side. They did not like the fact that he had made fun of Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio, and that Congress people like Ileana Ros-Lehtinen at the time, had their doubts about him. 4 years later, Donald Trump did a lot of work to not just repair that, but to advance it. Think now how many Cuban Americans spoke at the RNC this year, how many trips the president made here, the events at the White House with Bay of Pigs veterans. This was all a concerted effort to bring them in. And finally, we cannot not talk about the accusations against Democrats that they were socialist, that they were an entree to communism. The Democrats never had a good response for the socialism argument. They just looked at it and thought it was silly, and that there was no basis in thinking that Donna Shalala was a socialist, or that Joe Biden, who is as mainstream a candidate as you could get, was a socialist. And yet that stuck. That stuck in a big way against Democrats. And if they have any chance going forward, they cannot simply allow those charges to remain in the future. But frankly, I don't know how they combat them. And that's the real problem that they have.
You're right, Jim. It stuck, even though nobody ever pointed out a single socialist program by Joe Biden. Let me ask you about the election. In the past, Florida has been the butt of jokes, right? When we have problems during elections. That didn't happen this year. What did Florida do right?
Well, look, I actually think Florida has gotten a bad rap. We live off the legacy of 2000, and certainly in 2000 things were bungled. But all the advances made since 2000, you did have some problems in 2016 in terms of some issues in Broward County. Governor Rick Scott at the time removed the Broward Supervisor of Election. I think you have to hand it to Peter Antonacci, who was appointed by Scott to come in and fill in as a Supervisor of Elections in Broward County. He ran a good election. He certainly deserves credit for that. In Miami-Dade, Christina White, the Supervisor of Elections, she's been running good elections for quite some time. So I think this election may finally put to rest the notion that Florida is a place that traditionally, almost inherently, is going to be screwed up.
Okay. Jim, thank you very much. We'll be checking with you a little later.